Hello, everyone. Hi. Trying to set up my phone here. Hi, and welcome back to another live video at 5:55. I am so excited today. First of all, I do have new hair. So be gentle, be nice. It's been a really long time since I've ever cut my hair. So it's a super new look for me, but it's so liberating, like so liberating. So I'm loving it. I have huge downloads, like huge downloads to say to everyone today. I'm going to, yes, talk about understanding your soul a little bit, how to understand your soul, how to understand, this reality based on what you're attracting. And I'm going to be talking about past lifetimes. I'm going to be talking about purging energy. I'm going to be talking about energetic vortexes, like you name it. It is mind blowing stuff today. So strap in because I've got a whirlwind of information to tell you all today. I'm going to be presenting information through story, okay, which basically means that I'm going to be expressing what's been going on with me in other realms, other dimensions, even in dream time. It's been absolutely insane. So I'm going to be expressing some information through story, and then I'm going to tie it all back together. So if you're interested in past lifetimes and weird vortexes and, indigenous beings coming through and, it's just wild stuff. Then definitely hang in there because lots to get through today. So thank you. Thank you all on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you guys so much for showing up as per usual. I made sure that I set up, I don't even know what it's called, my painting. Oh my God. I made sure that I set up my painting today behind me. So for those of you on YouTube, check it out. That is actually a representation of myself. And for those of you on Facebook, if you haven't seen this painting yet, it's really awesome. Definitely by far one of my favorites. So you can kind of check it out, while I'm doing my live video. It's gorgeous. This is actually meant to be a self-representation. I wanted to do a self-portrait, and this is what came out, right? Which is so wild. So I see myself sometimes as an intergalactic blue being right there. And so, yeah, so super cool. I figured that would be a really great backdrop for today. And it's unfortunate because I can't bring all of my art pieces over to LA. So when I'm here, I really enjoy them while I have them. And guys, like I paint as close as possible to what I'm seeing with my third eye. So when I use colors, our color spectrum doesn't even match or begin to match the color spectrum out there in the universe, right? So when I see things in the astral realm or I see things with my third eye, which is almost every moment of every day, I see that kind of stuff, right? It's wild. So I wanted to ask all of you, as per usual, where are you guys coming from in the world? So where are you right now? And I have another question. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask, like, how long have you been following my content or my videos? I was just kind of curious, like, maybe this is your first ever video that you've ever joined into. Maybe you've been following my content for years. Maybe it's been months. So where are you from in the world, and how long have you been, following my content? So please comment below. And yeah, unfortunately, Grayson isn't here with us today, but I think I mentioned last time that my girlfriend laughed so hard. I bought a baby carrier. You know those those strap-on baby things? Okay, I bought that for my little baby Gray, my little gray baby. For those of you who don't know, he's my little mascot. And so I'm gonna be like biking around LA with this cute little gray baby strapped to my back. And then while you guys answer, I'm gonna take a sip of water and show you this cup. It freaks me out every time. Do you see that spider? I'm like, if I was like arachnophobic, this would freak me out, this freaking spider cup, but it's a good way to face your fears for sure. Okay, let's see here. Hi, Joe. Hi, Sarah. Just to let you guys know, I have a beautiful couple who not only like watches my content, but is taking my course and all those great things. And they send me malas. So these two malas, one is straight onyx, and one is labradorite, rose quartz, and oh my goodness, amethyst. So I wear them almost every day. I love them so much. So thank you, Joe and Lily Rose Jewelry. You guys can check them out online if you're interested in these kind of things. So let's see. Bay Area, California. Hey, Jessica. Washington. Hey, Mike. Almost a year following. Awesome. Thank you, Jessica. Delaware, about 5 months now. Lewis. Awesome. Santa Clarita, California. Nice. From Regina, Saskatchewan. Leslie. Lauren, my beautiful assistant, following for about 2.5 years now. Fantastic. Lisa from Dunnville, Ontario, about 2 years. Yeah. 12 months or so, really enjoying it. Thank you, Rachel. What about you guys? Santa Fe, New Mexico, Texas, England also, fantastic. Minneapolis, thank you. I love my new hair too. England, Southern California, okay. About a year you've been following. Thank you, Stephanie. All right, awesome. From Alberta, following you for a while. Yeah, I can't say for sure. Awesome. Iowa for about 1 year. Fantastic. Puerto Rico, fantastic. Awesome. Thank you guys so much, like all of you. Whether this is the first video that you've ever seen or you've been following me for a while, I really and always do appreciate you guys checking out my content and resonating with my content as well. And I'll say that being back home in Canada, it's so good because the people who know me, they know me as Liz. They don't know me as EA. They don't know me as a teacher. So it's really great to come here and just kind of be a human for once, right? I mean, talk about the cosmic tags. It's been Elizabeth almost every day until today, which is, of course, Hira. So amazing. Oh my goodness, where to begin? Okay. I just want to say that I've let go of I have clients, and I'll tell you that over the past 15 days of not channeling for clients every second of every day, it's like I literally cannot run away from information. So for the past 15 days of traveling, it feels like I've been gone for 3 years, guys. Like time has been crazy. I want to talk a little bit about collapsing timelines. This is going to be sit back and relax and just really enjoy the content because there's so much to get. Full of announcements, and then we're going to dive into it. I officially am getting back into group sessions. Please hop over to Facebook. That's kind of why I do them on both. Sometimes, usually Facebook has been really choppy. Now YouTube's being choppy. So, yeah. Oh no, it's buffering on YouTube. Um, I don't know what to do with this app. Okay, that's okay. Okay, 1 second, guys. I'm just gonna go ahead and can you guys refresh? Let's see. Okay, refresh. All right, I think you guys got it on YouTube. I don't want to have to exit out and refresh on my end. So try refreshing your feed, okay? Okay, good. Technology issues always, especially when I get excited about something. Okay, so, oh yeah, I'm opening up every Sunday of August is the group sessions. I'm only taking 10 people per group session, and all of the people who have been in my group sessions before have all asked me if I'm starting group sessions again because that's how much they loved it. So basically, if you want a message from your spirit guides, if you want 2 questions answered directly, I am bringing people together every Sunday at 3 p.m. PST or 6 p.m. EST every Sunday for a group session. I'm bringing them back. There's only 10 spots open for this Sunday. Okay, so I'm just opening it up. It will fill up quickly, and it's only $55 to get 2 of your most pressing questions answered, or just a straight channel from the universe for you. It's been wild. I mean, because cool. Also, I've had a woman not be able to make the Mexico retreat. So, if you were thinking about making the Mexico retreat, and if you're a woman, then please email me. Okay, so I'm just saying that one spot has opened up. Please go ahead and email me and let me know if you are interested in taking on a spot for the Mexico retreat in September. Okay, and there is going to be a discount applied since you will be taking on someone else's spot. So please email me. I'll send you all the information. Okay. Uh, okay. Two more things, guys. One is my membership page. Please check it out. I mean, it's tons of great content. Live video at 5:55 every Thursday, exclusive to the teachers page on Facebook. I've also got Q&A videos where you can ask whatever question you want pertaining to that week. So it's really great content information. You've got weekly homework, weekly crystal channeled videos. So if you are wanting more content at a deeper level, check it out. It's only $11 a month subscription. So, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Okay. Last thing is officially, I am saying that I am no longer going to be swearing. Okay. I'm really locking it down, guys. And it was my mom who mentioned that, I said, "Hey mom, like I need more criticism. Like tell me like what could I be doing different? What could I be improving on?" And she said that she really doesn't like the swearing. And you know what? If I do want to be more mainstream or teach the youth of this world, then I probably need to be like limiting the swear words. But I will let you guys know that I'm not a big swearer, in swear because it shakes up your reality, right? I mean, there's a reason behind everything that I say, and I do, yeah, I drop the F bomb quite often, but I do that to just jolt you in your place because when else are you hearing that, right? So, anyways, that's why I was doing it. No longer going to be doing that. Hopefully, you guys understand and appreciate it more, right? So it's going to be a little bit different for me, and it might take me like 2 or 3 videos to stop, but we're going to work on that. Okay. Awesome. That's it for the announcements. Let's hop right into the first mind blowing, incredible experience that I had during my travels. And guys, there are so many downloads that came to me during my travels. I don't have enough hours in the day to express everything that happened. And I also want to say, if you guys have had similar experiences, which you probably have had similar experiences, then please comment below. Let me know what kind of experiences you've had as well. So once again, first mind-blowing experience that I had on my travels was in Miami. And basically what happened is that my girlfriend, okay, Natasha, and her father got into a pretty heated fight, okay? It was a pretty big fight. Now I'm just like, I'm in the middle of the energy, right, between the two of them. And it felt like some really heavy stuff. Now everyone gets into fights. It's no better, no worse. It just is what it is, right? And so they got into this heated discussion. It was right before we were about to sit down for dinner, and so we're cooking. Like I'm trying to make light of it. I'm really trying to like kind of open up the energy and allow things to flow. I'm like, haha, no big deal. Like just brush it off, whatever. Anyway, it just kept going and going and going. And then I take one bite of this beautiful meal and I run to the bathroom and I start purging. I start throwing up. Now, for those of you who don't know, when I was a kid, I was very empathic, very sensitive, very open, if you could imagine. And I was unable to go out to public restaurants because I felt so nauseous and so sick. And my dad would take one look at me, all of the blood would drain from my face. I would start getting into this really heavy sweat. I just started sweating and getting really pale. And he turns to me and he's like, Do you need to go to the bathroom? And I'm like, mm-hmm. And I would run to the bathroom and I would throw up. Nowadays, I realize that in childhood, I wasn't able to go to restaurants because I was taking on the energy of everyone in the restaurant, right? Anyway, and so this fight happened. I go and I start purging. I start throwing up. I'm like, no, why is this happening now? This is so embarrassing because, like this is the first time I actually met, this is the first time I met her dad, right? So it was like really intense. And so I'm like throwing up in the middle of dinner, like in the bathroom, right off of the kitchen. Then I run upstairs and I start throwing up there and I just start crying. Like I'm not a very emotional person typically, and definitely more masculine. And I start crying and crying and crying, and it was like this cry that I've never heard before in my life. It was this cry that was not coming from me. It was like this is the cry. I was like, it was it was so intense. There was like snot coming from my nose. I was on my hands and knees in the bathroom. I was hugging the toilet. Every time I stopped crying, I started throwing up. Every time I stopped throwing up, I went back to crying. And so here I am, just objectively in my mind, like, okay, it's the middle of dinner. Like, what do I do? Like, and so I like could not for the life of me go back into the kitchen because the energy and the argument was so intense in the kitchen that it was like cutting the tension with a knife. And as an empath, I'm like, I can't even go back in that room, let alone go back and eat a meal. Like, there's no way, right? And so, anyway, so I'm like objectively, like in my mind, my body is just purging and crying. I'm like, oh, this is not my own. I'm purging out Nat stuff. I'm purging out my girlfriend's stuff. I'm purging out shit. Oops. There you go. I swore. Okay, I'm purging out stuff between her and her dad, and it went to such a deep level. And I can't eat during a fight. And to be honest, I have a hard time eating, even if I'm having like a really intense conversation about quantum physics or aliens or whatever, and I've got someone there with me and we're having this intense conversation, I will be so full of the energy and vibration that I won't have to eat, for hours, right? But the same thing, if the energy is really low vibrational and really intense, I cannot eat if I was paid $1 million. I have to like release and purge and whatever, let go. Anyway, and so yeah, and so then my girlfriend comes up to the bathroom. She's like, "Oh my God, are you okay? Like, what's happening? Like, why are you crying? Like, I'm so sorry to involve you in this." So I'm like, "No, it's okay. It's just energy." I was like crying and crying. It's just energy. Like, just leave me alone, and whatever. And so she did, and yeah, it was like super intense. Anyway, and it got even more intense, but I'm not going to disclose too many details because, it is a personal situation. But I started replaying all of these past lifetimes, past life after past life after past life of energy between her and her dad, and them, together in different situations and roles and violence and alcohol and all of these things from past lifetimes. And I'm just feeling it and purging it and releasing it. And it was so intense. And then, of course, the second I'm done purging and releasing, I overhear them downstairs laughing and having a good time. And I'm like, oh, you're welcome, right? Like, I'm like, here you go. So I wasn't expecting to do that. I didn't want to do that. And it just freaking came. Like, it just came out of me, right? And it's just like sometimes you just can't help releasing that. So that was really incredible. And I don't know if either one of them will ever truly know what happened that night. And unfortunately, I embarrassed myself because I was unable to eat the meal that he cooked for us. And try refreshing, guys, if YouTube is buffering. And anyway, and the other thing too is he kind of like her dad kind of had, and thank you guys for the haircut comments. I'm like so nervous to like show it off because I've never gone this short before, but it's really good. And I was like telling the hairdresser, who's my friend Zach, he's amazing. If you guys will ever want a hairdresser in Toronto, he's top of the line. Anyway, so I'm like, I just cut off 3 relationships. I just cut off like 5 years worth of relationships, and it felt so good. Anyway, and so yeah, and so it was a huge ego death for her dad because he was a world-renowned chef and he traveled the world cooking food, right? So she was born in the Bahamas and then they moved to Egypt and then they went to California and then they went here, all over the place. And I took one bite of his food and I ended up throwing up, right? So it was just it was really brutal and really embarrassing for me. And guys, like the thing about hair is that it'll always grow back, right? So anyway, okay, so that's the first experience. Huge, wild, download. Okay, another experience that I had, and I'm telling you guys, like every step of the way, I've been Oh, that was a past life. Oh, I'm just releasing energy. Oh, this or that. When I'm not channeling and, focusing my attention on clients, I am such an open conduit of information. And I wanted to let all of you guys know that I'm starting to produce short form content, which means I'm still going to always have my live at 5:55, but I'm going to start releasing minute-long videos on YouTube, or sorry, Instagram, and I'm going to be releasing 5 to 10 minute long videos on YouTube and Facebook. Okay. So please make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Super appreciate it. And I'm finally going to have and get back into shorter videos, because no one's going to sit down and watch an hour-long video, right? I wouldn't even watch an hour-long video. So I'm going to really kind of shorten the content, be short, sweet, and really powerful moving forward. I just haven't had time to produce more content. Now that I have more time, I'm going to be producing more content. So hang in there. Okay, so then my brother, my mom, and I all go to a cottage this past weekend in Port Dover, so Canada, basically. Um, and and so it was like the one day it was like beautiful lake, super calm. Hey, Trip, super calm, super chill. And then the next day it was like so wavy, right on this like Great Lake, I think it's called, like Lake Erie. And it was like so wavy and it was so crazy. And my mom's like, I'm so hot, like I'm gonna jump in the water, right? So she jumps in with this tube, okay? She jumps in with this tube. She doesn't have a paddle or anything. And right beside her jumping in is this huge pile of rocks, right? So here, the waves are crashing into her. She's about to crash into the rocks. And and she's like, oh no, like I'm gonna crash, right? And so I'm like, I'll save you. And like, no word of a lie, I grab the tube and I run into the lake after her. Oh, thank you so much, a trip. I really appreciate the super chats, guys. Like, really appreciate it. And you're such a fan of mine. I thank you so much for that. Um, and so she runs. So I run into the lake. I grab a tube. I grab a paddle. We're out in the lake. Like I'm like trying. Like I tie her tube to my tube. I'm trying. Like I'm in a circular tube. I'm not in a boat, right? And I'm trying to paddle away from the rocks. And it was the most intense, the most dramatic moment. And she kept saying, we're gonna drown. We're gonna drown. I'm gonna drown, right? And it's funny because she's watching this, and I haven't told her the whole story. And so, like, I'm paddling away, paddling away, paddling away. And as I'm doing this, I'm going through this whole past lifetime where we were both men, okay, in this past life. And it must have been around, I would say, the late 1700s, oh, maybe even mid 1700s. Yeah. And we were in this giant ship. So we were both ship hands on this giant boat, this giant ship. And and so we were both men, and we were like, I don't know if we were brothers or best friends, but it was that kind of connection that you just don't find other places. And so she ended up going overboard. I don't know if she tripped and fell overboard. I don't know if she got kicked off the ship and she went overboard. But in this past lifetime, she went overboard. And as I'm in the tube paddling away from the rocks, and she's saying, we're gonna drown, we're gonna drown. I'm like literally going through this past lifetime thinking that this is the most intense thing we could ever go through. And and so in the past lifetime, I kind of had something similar, like some sort of flotation device. So she ends up falling off board in this past lifetime in the 1700s on this giant wooden ship. I jump in after her with some sort of flotation device that was tied to the boat. And I jump in after her, and I'm like swimming out to save her. And no word of a lie, she drowned, like kind of like the Titanic. She ended up drowning, like right as I'm about to grab her. She swallows a bunch of water. She goes under, and I have to watch her. I have to watch her die in front of me, and 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 I couldn't save her. And in this lifetime, very similar, she goes out there completely unexpected. I jump in after her. The waves are crashing against the rocks. She's yelling, we're gonna drown. And I'm kind of like chuckling along the way because it wasn't that serious. But also, I'm seeing this past lifetime where she did end up drowning in that past lifetime. And then I paddle us to safety, right, in this lifetime now. And and then we ended up getting back to the stairs, so we go up, and she ends up like hopping off of her little boat, and turns out we're like waist high in this lake, right? we would both start laughing because, it wasn't that serious. She's like, "I don't know why I thought it was gonna be so deep." She's like, "I don't know why, I thought that, I wasn't gonna be able to touch the ground. Like, I don't know why, like, that felt so intense for me and so dramatic for me. And I know why. It was because it was a past lifetime that we were both releasing in that moment. I needed to save her, actually save her in this lifetime, and she needed to be saved, and we completed that past lifetime in that moment. Like the whole thing in this lifetime of me jumping in after her and paddling to maybe 10 minutes, but we released an entire past lifetime by just going through the motion. And one of the things that I wanted to mention to all of you in really connecting and tapping into your own soul's energy and soul's purpose is the universe is always speaking to you. You could, okay, say for example, you could be in the kitchen, okay, cooking dinner, and you could accidentally drop a kitchen knife, okay, like a big hearty knife. You could accidentally drop a kitchen knife on your foot, and that's you releasing a past lifetime where you actually got your foot cut off. We need to realize that every scrape, every bump, every toe stubbed, every person that you smile at on the street is a representation of your soul. And when we think about the soul and we think about the Akashic records that are a part of the soul, our soul is picking up on 100% of all the information around us in every single moment. Okay? Our mind, our human mind, is picking up on 10% of whatever we're focusing on in every single moment. We need to realize that when we start to raise our vibrational frequency and hop into a new state of being, and we start to literally collapse timelines, okay? Once again, the fifth dimension is not just about love and light and butterflies and rainbows and whatever. The fifth dimension is about the ability to choose between love and fear. We're always going to stub our toe. We're always going to, we're always going to have freak accidents. We're always going to experience the ups and the downs in this physical incarnation. And the reason why we're always going to experience the ups and the downs is because, regardless if it's the third dimension, a low vibration, or the fifth dimension, a high vibration, we live in a binary universe, not just a binary reality, not just a binary planet. We live in a binary universe. There's always going to be light and dark. The fifth dimension doesn't mean that darkness does not exist. The fifth dimension means that, oh, you stubbed your toe? What did you learn from that? What are you taking from that? What are you gaining access to? How can you perceive that in the best possible way? Oh, your boss just fired you? Okay, either you can play the victim and you can allow that to ruin your day or your night or your year, right? Or you can take that in the most positive and liberating way possible, and you can see the good in everything. The fifth dimension is not just all love and light, guys. The fifth dimension is the conscious ability to be aware of everything that is happening to you in every moment. And I'm telling you that the more aware you are of every moment, instead of, say, for example, you drop a knife on your foot and you cut your foot, right? I mean, maybe you go to the hospital, maybe you get a couple stitches, right? This is fine. But if you focus on the pain and you focus on the moment and you focus on not being aware and you focus on the fact that you're so clumsy that you allowed it to happen, if you focus on these things, then you're never going to be able to focus on the liberation of why that happened. If anything, you're actually creating more karma with yourself by playing the victim once again. We are clearing contracts. We are breaking down karmic walls. We are releasing energy in every single moment. We need to focus at this time on two major things. Get rid of all distraction in your life. Distraction is third dimension. Ow, oh, that really hurts. Oh, why would you do that to me? Oh, why did this happen? Get rid of distraction. Get rid of dead sea scrolling on Instagram or on your phone, okay? You're wasting your time. I waste my time as well, right? It's not good, everyone. It's not good. And We're not utilizing our conscious awareness. We're not utilizing our consciousness. We're not utilizing our ability to see beyond the reality in front of us. We're allowing the reality in front of us to distract us and put us back into the third dimension, put us back into fear. Distraction will not allow us to choose between love and fear. Okay. And someone just mentioned the Schumann resonance, and I checked in on today. Oh, right now. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, please check it out. It's called the Schumann resonance with two N's at the end. And it is basically the measurement of the vibrational frequency of the planet. Okay. And today, the measurement is 40 hertz. The planet right now is at 40 hertz. Okay. Now, the Schumann resonance is usually, I always get this wrong, but I think it's usually 7.83, 7.84. Okay. The Schumann resonance is usually always 7.83. Today, it's 40. Okay. We are seeing these incredible spikes of energy and fifth dimensional frequency that are hitting us. Now, what happens when a high vibration meets a low vibrational frequency? All of the low vibration is being forced to raise itself, raise its vibration to to that vibration of the planet. Think about the entire planet as a whole and the magnitude, the gravity, the vibrational pull, the electromagnetic frequency. Imagine the vibration of an entire planet versus one person. Wow, that's pretty incredible. So the planet doesn't have to adjust and align to our vibration, okay? We, as individual incarnated beings on this planet, have to align ourselves to the planet vibration, okay? So it's all about raising your vibration. And as we raise our vibration, we become a lot more aware. And sometimes we're aware of things that we don't want to be aware of. And other times we're aware of things that are absolutely amazing and beautiful. And I believe that we can make everything, bad or good, amazing and beautiful, right? So once again, sometimes it spikes to 50. I've even seen it spike to 130. And that's when there was freak accidents. That's when there was tectonic plate shifts. That's when there was huge major storms happening. That's when there was a lot of sudden deaths and accidents, is when the vibration shifts, because the people who have not been working on themselves, the people who have been in their own fear-based reality, are unable to handle the vibrational shift of a higher frequency. It's kind of like being dunked into ice cold water. It is a shock to our system to align ourselves to a vibration that is so freaking high, right? That's why I'm saying to everyone, do the work now. So the timelines that I've channeled from the Galactic Federation, and we talked a little bit about the Galactic Federation last time, the timelines that I've channeled are between 2020 and 2024. We're going to see huge spikes in the resonance. Everyone and everything, including governments, so political, economic, social, environmental, is all going to be shifting to align to a higher vibration. And when things shift and align to a higher vibration, it kind of feels really shitty in the moment. And swear number two. Okay, I'm watching that. It really feels crappy, right? It really feels awful in the moment to shift. So just be aware. I think I'm having issues on YouTube. I don't know why. Let's see if I can maybe. Hmm. Sorry, guys. I don't know why I'm having so many glitches on YouTube. But once again, come on over to Facebook if you're having issues on YouTube. So anyway, so I know I kind of got into a rant there, but we need to realize, hey, Sharma, thank you. Thank you for that super chat. Super appreciated. Um, we need to realize that in every single moment, in every single way, we are releasing major past lifetimes. If you meet someone on the street and you hate them in the moment, right? Uh, it's instantly you're clearing that karma. So please let go of reaction, let go of distraction. Okay. Yeah, let go of reaction, let go of distraction, let go of the victim mentality. Take full responsibility over everything that is happening with you, to you, and for you. Will start to move and glide through your reality that much easier. And you're going to start to realize, whoa, I think that happened in a past lifetime. Whoa, that was really crazy. So I want to ask all of you, has there been any really crazy moments in the past month, especially because July has been really intense? Has there been any crazy moments in the month of July where you have thought that maybe it was a past life? Like, guys, I'm telling you that each and every one of you, I don't care if you see it or not, or you feel it or whatever, I promise that every single one of you have at least one past lifetime in the past 4 months. But most likely you've released many, many more than that in every moment. I'm like walking down the street and I'll be releasing a past lifetime because I've been there before in a past life, right? We need to realize the significance of the closure that is happening to all of us in the moment. So please share your experiences with me. In what ways and in what moments have you really seen yourself releasing and moving through past lifetimes? And once again, it can be really liberating, really beautiful, and it can be really difficult as well to release past lives. So a couple people here, Michelle Whitfield, you're saying, yeah, it's been really intense. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what else. Okay, so skelly bones, clearing old emotions from fear-based patterns, jealousy and anger, leaving my mind. Ah, so liberating. I just want to say that all of my shift students, so I do have a course out there, but it's not released to the public. They are all, like, I just got a message from Carly, like right before hopping onto this live saying, you've changed my life in the past 4 months. And, their perception is different. The way that they look at the world themselves is completely different. Really incredible. Sharma, my daughter had a visual of being killed while being too focused 4 days ago. Wow, interesting. Okay. These children, these beautiful little light worker children. Um, okay. Ooh. Okay, Rachel Rogers, I've been experiencing intense abdominal pain and throwing up. Throwing up, honestly, is such a huge release for so many people, like myself included. Purging is always the way I know for sure I'm releasing some sort of energy, but I mean, it's never the most pleasant way to release, right? Let's see. Lauren Mary on Facebook. I released a lot of emotions have been coming up, especially from your past lifetimes. Anger, and you're never really angry. Oh, okay, yeah. So just loving yourself in the moment is really the best way to to uh, to do it. Okay, so we've got David here. I'm new to watching your videos. Do you meditate? It's helped me lately. Okay, fantastic. You know what, guys? And I'm so glad that you brought this up, David. So intuitive of you. I wanted to mention during this live video that I really don't do a lot of meditation because when I channel, I'm in pure meditation. So I separate my ego from my consciousness in order to channel. And then also throughout my day, I try to be in a meditative state all the time. It doesn't always work. I can be a little bit reactionary. But yeah, I try to be as in a meditative state at all time. But I'm so happy that you mentioned this because I wanted to let you all know that I'm going to be starting videos. And I don't really know what kind of structure I'm going to be starting them, but I'm going to be starting movement meditation videos. And what I mean by that is, oh, this is so cool. This is another experience that I had recently. I'm like, do I want to share it right now? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to share it right now. So I wanted to talk about this at the end of this video, but I'm going to share it now. About 2 weeks ago, right before I started traveling, I was contacted by Bashar. Just like a raise a hand, just like a little heart or a like or a little comment. Who knows Bashar? Who knows who Bashar is? Some people know Bashar through Daryl Anka. Some people know him through, other ways, right? But who here knows who Bashar is? Bashar. And I just wanted to let you know that I have a friend of mine in Australia who is a channeler and he channels Bashar. So if you actually want to talk to Bashar, I know a guy and he's a really great price. If you are interested in getting a direct message from Bashar, I will let all of you know that Bashar is super confrontational. So for those of you who don't know who Bashar is an interdimensional being. He is a half gray, half human, and he comes from the sixth dimension, and he usually comes through this guy named Daryl Anka. So type in Bashar into YouTube after this. It's really incredible. Anyway, so I connect with my friend in Australia. He channels Bashar like straight through. I was talking, had a great conversation with Bashar. About 3 days after the channel, I'm like cooking dinner in the kitchen. I cut both of my middle fingers, like so odd at different times. I cut the tips just randomly. Like I didn't mean to cut my fingers, but I randomly cut the tips of both my middle fingers. So, I close my eyes, and right before dinner, I channel it. I say, well, why did I cut the tips of my fingers? And instantly Bashar, no word of a lie, comes into my psyche. He's got this big booming voice. He's like, hello, Elizabeth. And I'm like, hey, like what's going on? Who is that? Right. And so he says, you are meant to do more mudras. I'm like, I don't know what a mudra is. Like, what's a mudra, right? And he says the hand signals, the hand symbols, right? I don't know. I don't even know. Like, mudras do not come close. Like, they don't come naturally to me. Mudras, right? Hand movement symbols, like, I don't know, whatever, the things, right? The mudras. Anyway, so he says, I cut the tips of my fingers because I'm being told by the universe, which is you, which is me, to do more mudras. And I said, okay, cool. And he says, Elizabeth, you need to get into more of a routine. You need to wake up earlier because I love sleeping in. And he says, if you structure the time in to your daily schedule, he says, I will be your direct teacher for Qigong and Tai Chi. Mind blowing. And he said to me, okay, Bashar, right? And here I am, I'm crying because the amount of unconditional love that was coming through literally in the middle of the kitchen as I'm like trying to chop things, right? The amount of unconditional love that was coming through me in that moment was absolutely breathtaking, mind blowing. I was all up in tears. It was incredible. And he says, you're not using your gifts to the best ability possible. Or he says, you're not tapping into all of your gifts. And I said, I know, I don't have time. And he says, don't be the victim. You do have time. Make the time. I'm like, okay. Anyway, and so he says that if I make the time every morning, he's going to be teaching me Tai Chi and Qigong, the movement of energy. And he says that I've done this in past lifetimes, which I know. When I was 16, I saw myself in Burma as a yogi. I was so tapped into Qi, I was able to levitate. Like, I literally saw myself in lotus position, levitating as a human, guys. Okay, levitating in India, levitating and actually pushing, and me pushing the energy while I'm levitating, I pushed myself backwards and I pushed myself off of nothing, off of thin air. That is completely possible. I want you all to know that I'm working on teleportation and telekinesis, which probably should be a little bit underground because I don't want really anyone to know that I can be doing those things. Anyway, and so he told me that through bringing up my chi energy and through the movement of energy, I'm able to teleport and move things with my mind and my energy. And so Bashar, I'm just wanting to let you guys all know, Bashar will be teaching me Qigong and Tai Chi. When I was like 16, 17 years old, I was making balls of energy that looked like electric blue spheres. I didn't know that there was a thing called a Qi ball or a Psi ball. I didn't know that that was, something that Qigong masters do, right? Anyway, so I've been doing this for a while. Anytime I feel chaotic and crazy, I move my energy like really slowly with the breath. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I'm going to be teaching Qigong and Tai Chi. Now, because I have been a Tai Chi master before in past lifetimes, I find that it's very disrespectful for me to say that I'm teaching Tai Chi without having any knowledge or background in it in this lifetime. So there's no way, it's like just deep down within myself, I feel like it's super disrespectful. So I will not be teaching Tai Chi or Qigong. Okay, I will not be teaching Tai Chi or Qigong. I will be teaching what I'm going to call is movement meditation, okay, with the breath. I just want to let you all know that I know deep down within myself, I have these really deep fundamental concepts of Qigong, Tai Chi, even Feng Shui, okay, deep down within my soul, and also the yogi stuff, like movement of your body. I know I have these concepts so deep within me. I'm never going to call it Tai Chi or Qigong because I've never picked up a book on it. Okay. And it's disrespectful for me to even call it that. But if you are interested, I will be live filming myself when I do my morning rituals of breathing, and I will be talking all of you through it. And so I'll be doing this at 8 a.m. Okay, this is my plan. Okay, 8 a.m. every morning. And I'll be live on both Facebook and YouTube. And I'm just going to be chilling in my patio, like doing my thing, and I'll be explaining what I'm doing. But it's not going to be some sort of crazy event. And I'm going to be doing that every morning. So if you want to join me, please do. If not, not a big deal. I know it's like in the middle of the workday for most people. 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time is 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm not very good at math. It's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So join me if you can, watch it after, but I want everyone to be doing it with me, right? So please take the time to spend, an hour, no, half an hour in movement meditation. And then after that, I'm going to be doing a little bit of yoga, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that yoga live on camera because once again, I've never really been taught yoga, but it feels like it does come quite naturally to me. So yeah, just wanted to put it all out there for you guys. And best thing is Bashar is going to be teaching us all. So hey, what a better, teacher than Bashar. So okay, okay, cool. Okay, so I want to talk about a couple more things here. Collapsing timelines. Timelines are collapsing. Please be aware. Some of you will be thrown into childhood. Some of you are going to be thrown into the future. Some of you are going to be thrown into past lifetimes. Some of you are going to be thrown into cosmic lifetimes. But please be aware that timelines are collapsing. The more clear you are in the present moment, the easier it's going to be for you to travel to different places, different realms, and to be aware of where you're traveling to. Okay. So please be aware of that. And then what else? Oh, yeah, super important. This is a really important concept, and I'm just going to kind of plant the seed for all of you. And then I've got one more really cool experience that I want to share with all of you that I've been downloading. Okay. A lot of you, myself included, okay. Well, I've got a good question from Rick here. What does it mean for a timeline to collapse? Okay. It's kind of difficult to explain, but say, for example, you're going about your day and you're thirsty and you're about to take a sip of water. And before you take that sip of water, you have a strange sensation or a strange feeling, and you put the glass of water down. In one reality, in one timeline, you took a sip of that water. In another timeline, you didn't take a sip of that water. Okay. So, in a way, that is timelines collapsing. That has a lot to do with the Mandela effect. It has a lot to do with glitches in the matrix. It has a lot to do with all of those concepts. Now, likewise, timelines collapsing could be like, for example, when I got my hair cut, it's so short, right? But when I got my hair cut, I was sitting in the chair and it was like 6 inches off or whatever. I was sitting in the chair and I look at myself in the mirror and I get this flashback. So I'm in the present moment, right? As 27 or whatever. I'm in and I get a flashback to me as a child. And the last time I had my hair cut this short, I was like 8 years old. No word of a lie, 8 years old. And I had a hairband on, right? I used to always wear these hair bands to get the hair out of my face. And so all of a sudden I flash back to being 8 years old, looking at myself in a mirror with the hairband on. I'm like, oh my goodness. So this is what I'm talking about with timelines collapsing. We're in the past, we're in the future, we're in a cosmic lifetime. The more you don't react to the present moment, the more you detach yourself from the present moment, the easier it is for you to be fluid in every moment. Okay, so super important concept. I want to just plant the seed, and then one more story I have to tell. Okay, everyone wants to know who they are, and for whatever reason, we've all lost ourselves. You're not the clothes that you wear. You're not the family that you were born into. You're not the stuff that you put into your body. You are, but you're not, right? That's not who your soul is. Everyone is yearning to understand who they are at a human level, at a spiritual level, at an emotional level, at a mental and intellectual level. We're all trying to just figure it out, right? It's so difficult to really fully understand who you are, right? And I get it. And I've been trying my whole life to figure that out. I didn't understand who I was until I started to understand my past lifetimes. I really didn't understand who I was until I started to channel my cosmic lifetimes. And then I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not just me. Like, I'm not just this. I'm not just this. I'm not just this. I'm not just this or this or this. I'm not just what I see in the mirror. And none of you guys are just who you see in the mirror. You are so much more special than that. You really are. So, I have a really big pointer, and this is part of the downloads that came to me this past week. I have a really big tip for all of you to start to understand who you are. You are in the moment. Okay. Okay, a couple of things. One, you are an accumulation of every single person, every being, every plant, every animal that you have ever been before in the entirety of your soul existence. Likewise, you are everything that you will ever be again in the future, in future lifetimes. Okay, that's just what it is. That is who you are. Okay. Now, who you are in the present moment is dictated by the thoughts that you projected in the last moment. I'm going to say that again. Who you are right now in this present moment is a projection of the thoughts that you had in the last moment. So, say for example, last week you're like, oh, I really love this new color pink. I want everything in my life to be this color pink. You say it, you think it, it happens. The problem is that we say a lot of things in passing. We forget that we say those things. We manifest the things, and we forget that we actually manifested it. So most of the time, in every single day, in every single way, we think that we're the victim because it feels like life is happening to us. But all of a sudden, your best friend comes up to you to say, hey, I thought that you could really use this pink shirt. So here you go. So you didn't realize, especially people who aren't aware. Now, for me, it's like, oh my goodness, I just asked for that last is, right? We need to be aware that who we are is is our thought. Physical reality is a mere representation of who we are on the inside. So this is what I wrote down. Your reality is a mirror of your inner thoughts. Your reality is a mirror of your inner thoughts. Now, I say this all the time. Your thoughts create your reality. We are creating our reality. Yes, and it's important. But let's go a little bit deeper here, okay? You think about something, it is manifested. Your boss fires you. Well, guess what? You hated your job anyway. You created it. Your boyfriend breaks up with you. Guess what? You knew that you weren't really happy, but you were only there through attachment. It wasn't the right vibration, and it just got cut from your life because deep down, that's what you wanted. Maybe you never verbalized it. Maybe you never said that you wanted it. Maybe you thought the thought, but you forgot about it, right? Either way, you are creating your reality. Your thoughts are a mere projection. So you want to figure out who you are? Look at your friends. Out of 7 billion people in the world, you attracted 7 of them into your life. You attracted 10 of them. You attracted 1 of them into your life. Okay. Your friends are a mere representation of who you are. Your job is a mere representation of who you are. Your living situation is a mere representation of who you are. The vehicle you drive, the clothing that you wear, the hairstyle that you have, it's all a mere representation of, actually, corrected, not who you are, but who you were. And maybe that's who you were a minute ago. Maybe that's who you were a year ago. The more we change our physical reality, the more we make different decisions in every single moment, the more we are recreating ourselves in the moment, and the less stuck, the less attached, the less icky our life really becomes, the more liberated we become. And it's funny, I'm going to swear here, just like a little warning. So the reason why I wanted to cut my hair, and I wanted it short, like this is not an accident, guys, okay, is because I've had the same, and this is what I called it, and you guys are going to laugh. I I've had the same basic bitch hair, okay, for years. And I finally started like curling it. I'm like, oh, it's so pretty and it's so girly and it's so whatever. But like I know that the content that I talk about is definitely not basic. But I look like very basic, right? If someone were to just scroll through my Instagram or scroll through my Facebook or whatever, they're like, who is this bitch, right? So I feel like, I always have this like super basic kind of look and I'm done with it. I want my look to be as edgy, but maybe not that edgy, as my content, right? And it's funny because my wonderful hairdresser and best friend, Zach, he's like, oh my goodness, I'm obsessed with this new color. We have to do it for you. And I said, well, what's the color? Thank you, a Chip, for that super chat. Um, and so he's like, oh my goodness, like, and he shows me a picture and it's lime green. And he's like, this is called Area 51 green. We have to do it. And I'm like, no way am I dyeing my hair Area 51 green. So luckily, guys, I'm not going that crazy, but hair grows back. I needed a change, especially with my motorcycle, my helmet, hair just gets caught up everywhere. So I'm loving the change. And I want to encourage all of you, change something up. Go shopping for yourself and buy an outfit that you would never typically wear. Okay. Just realize that it's important to switch up everything about who you are, because we are different people in every moment and you don't want to be the same person in every moment. We're here for a finite, limited amount of time, and it's time for all of us to start fucking living life. Okay. Awesome. Okay, cool. Yes. Okay. Okay. I have a question for all of you, and then I have one more experience and I want to close it. Okay. Um, okay. I want all of you to sum up your soul in 3 words. And this is your soul. So it's kind of difficult to even define your soul, who you are, but this is what I'm talking about. If you were to summarize who your soul is, who you really are, I want you to summarize it in 3 words. Now, the words could be like harmonious, loyal, challenging, right? Like every soul has its own soul path and soul mission. So I want you all to be really aware. 3 words to sum up your soul. So take some time. Don't just like loving, don't just like put anything out there. Maybe it's a color that comes to you. Maybe it's an emotion. But how would you sum up your soul? Okay, in 3 words, not your human, but your soul in 3 words. And while you guys are putting that down, I am going to say my last experience, which is really cool. And once again, this is just the tip of the iceberg of all of my downloads this past week, but I'm going to say this one. Okay. So I went over to my friend's place in Toronto. And if you've been watching my content long enough, and I actually wanted to ask you guys, do you remember, it was probably like a year or two ago now, where I went to this huge park. I think the biggest park in Toronto, I don't know, biggest park in Toronto. It's called High Park. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I was just meditating and journaling. And all of a sudden, I get this Native American chief, this indigenous chief, that is sitting on a log beside me. And he says, my shaman tells me that you could help us. And then beside the chief is this older man, older spirit, and he's dressed up in all of this beautiful attire. And so this is all spirits, right? They're ghosts and spirits. I'm in the middle of the woods in High Park in Toronto, and I'm greeted by this chief and this shaman. And so the chief says, hello, greetings, my shaman told me that you could help us. And I said, sure. And so the reason why the shaman came to me and told him that I could help is because ghosts and spirits see my vibration as a very bright light. It's like a lot of other people are very kind of dark, almost like shadowy, kind of like as we perceive ghosts, they, they perceive us that way. If you're a little bit more aware, you can see ghosts and spirits in all of their details and all of their glory. Anyway, and so the shaman saw me at such a bright light that he knew that I had the gift to see them. Anyway, so turns out, and it was this whole long thing. It made me cry. It was just so intense. Anyway, and so crazy. Okay, I'm sorry. So many things. Okay, and then about a year and a half ago in High Park, in the middle of High Park, he says, "Please follow me. My wife is dying," which is kind of an oxymoron because they were already dead. Anyway, and so they were replaying this cycle of the chief's wife dying because she was really sick, and all of the spirits were stuck in High Park. There was about 1,400 indigenous Native American spirits that were stuck in High Park. The coolest part about me releasing and saying this whole story of channeling the spirits and then crossing them over. I managed to cross over about 1,300, 1,400 spirits in High Park. And afterwards, it just felt so much clearer. And someone sent me a video, someone sent me an article after my video documenting all of the bones and the artifacts that were found in High Park from the Native American spirits. Okay, sorry, that was a little bit of a backup. Super cool, and like there's way more information than that, but that happened about a year ago. And so then I go to my friend's house. She just rented a beautiful Victorian house steps away from High Park. Like it's just insane. Like literally the entrance, the beautiful gate of High Park. If you're in Toronto, you know the beautiful gate of High Park. She is right across the street from that gate. And so anyway, so I walk into their house and I'm like, "Whoa, guys!" And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, something's off here, right? Something's weird. Something's not right. And so they're like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I just feel crazy and chaotic." And I started missing all my things. My keys went missing. My phone went missing. This went missing. That went missing. Like, what's going on? I channel it. There's a giant energetic vortex in their house. Now, a couple of videos ago, I was talking about energetic vortexes and what an energetic vortex is. There's a bunch of different kinds, but the ley lines on the planet, when these beautiful, giant, energetic magnetic frequency lines on the planet intersect, okay, at certain points, it creates a vortex or a portal. So turns out my friend, this happened like 2 days ago, guys. Turns out my friend moved into a place right across the street from High Park that had a giant, like giant energetic vortex. And so the second I get into their place, I'm like, what's going on? I'm feeling like I'm all over the place, super ungrounded. I channel it. I'm like, yep, there's the vortex. Oddly, but not oddly enough, there's a giant spiral staircase that's right in the center of the vortex. And so here's what happened. Like a lot of weird things happened inside the vortex. But so they're like, can you please channel the house's energy and make sure there's no ghosts or spirits or anything that we need to be aware of? And I said, sure, no problem. So I channeled the energy of the house, the old Victorian house, probably like 1930s, 1940s, I don't know. And so I channeled the energy of the house, and there was one ghost spirit there. It was an older woman, but she was fine. She was really nice. But I go deeper and deeper and deeper, and all of a sudden I'm being thrown into a giant fire, a fireplace, long before there was ever houses there. I get thrown into a time where there was a giant fire pit that was literally on the vortex. Okay. So this was back in indigenous times where there was a fireplace there before the house was ever there. There was a fireplace inside the center of the vortex. Now, indigenous people are so intuitive. I don't know if they knew if it was a vortex, but they put their fire, and it was a ceremonial fireplace that was right there in the center of the vortex. So I didn't see any like indigenous spirits or burial grounds or anything like that. There was none of that, but there's this giant fireplace, and I'm seeing the dancing and the singing and the chanting and the drumming. Oh, the drumming was incredible. And I'm like, I'm just getting this beautiful energy and vibration from the fireplace and the ceremonies and the rituals that took place, and the plant medicine. It was just absolutely breathtaking. um yeah, and then I was channeling it, and I said, wow, like you guys are like so honored to be here on the land. Now, at the time, I didn't even piece together the fact that High Park in Toronto was where I cleared 1,400 spirits, 2 years prior to that. I didn't even think about the fact that the property was right across the street from High Park. Like I was just so into the energy of the property itself that I didn't even piece the information together. And it wasn't until like a day or two later that I did. Anyway, and so I told them a bunch of things that they need to do inside the vortex. I said, set intentions, heal yourselves, all of these weird things that they were saying. My friend Charlotte, she's like, I never lose my keys, and I have lost my keys almost every day since moving in, and they moved in June. And so wild, all these things. All three of them, all three roommates also said, yeah, like I've been getting weird aches and pains in my body, like in weird spots, and I've never gotten aches and pains. I'm like, have you ever had an injury in those areas? And they said, yeah, injury, but like 10, 15 years ago. And so I channeled it that the vortex was trying to heal their old energies. And by healing the old energies, it would bring up the pain again. It would bring up the tingly sensation or a hot flash or a cold flash, right? Anyways, all these things in the vortex, so cool. And I said, the indigenous spirits of the land who are overseeing and protecting the land, they want you to honor them by playing Native American tribal music. They want you to honor the land by by playing drumming and shamanistic drumming music, right, in the vortex in your house. And so they're like, okay, sure. Not even kidding you guys. About 2 seconds later, right after I channel the indigenous spirits, right after I channel, the ceremonial fire and the drumming, and I told them to play drumming music, there's a huge crash. I'm getting chills. There's a huge crash in the basement. All four of us run over to the edge where the spiral staircase is, and we look over the edge, and they have a giant drum, like huge, a giant drum, not a handheld one, like one that sits on the floor. The giant drum downstairs topples over. It just falls over, right? And we're like, what? Like I just mentioned, drum and more, play indigenous shamanistic music. The drum falls over. Now I will let you guys know that they have two cats, okay? And one of the cats was downstairs. So I figured, wow, like their cat is such a channel and so clear with the energy that she just channeled the spirits and knocked over the drum. But all three roommates were like, this is so weird because in the 5 years we've had both cats and we've had the drum, they've never toppled the drum over, ever. They've never. And the weirdest thing is that the drum was set right underneath the stairs so that the stair was about an inch away from the top of the drum. So it's not like the cats were sitting on the drum and jumped off of the drum. Either way, they all thought that it was like some sort of spirit or energy or the vortex energy that toppled the drum over. I still think it was the cats, but it was just so divine and crazy. Okay, then, one more thing about the vortex. Oh, and this has been happening to me all week because I don't have sessions and I don't have clients. Like I am just mic dropping to all of my family and friends, like anyone who I'm around. I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to tell you something. And like I will go into the most intense, like dark, deep, nasty, gross trauma, right? Like just weird shit has been coming through. Another swear word. Weird stuff has been coming through this past week. It's so much so after the information comes through, and it's so intense that it comes through. After the information comes through, I'm like, everyone in the room is like just silent, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like I did not mean to like tell you that right now at this time, but it had to come through, right? So I've been doing that all week long. Anyway, so we were all chilling in the vortex. I channel a past lifetime for my friend Emma, and it was between her and her father. A lot of father, a lot of mother things coming up recently. Anyway, so I channel this past lifetime between her and her father, and so it was just so intense. And she's like, "Dude, you just explained the lifetime, like this lifetime, like every single second of that past lifetime was identical to this life, right?" And so, yeah, it was so crazy. So I hit the record button on her phone, right, to channel the information because I knew it was going to be intense. So I stopped the recording after the session was over or the channel was over, and I look at everyone. I'm like, guys, how long do you think that past lifetime went on for? Like, how long do you think I was talking for? How long do you think that channel was? And all of them, they said, oh, that must have been at least 45 minutes. Oh my goodness. No, that was definitely like an hour and a half. Like that was really intense. And I turned the phone to them and I said, it was 9 minutes. That was 9 minutes. And they're like, what? Like we were just mind blown because the whole thing felt like it was like an hour and a half. And that whole night we were chilling in the vortex, pulling oracle cards. I was channeling, downloading crazy amounts of information. Every time I channeled, it felt like it was like an hour at least. And it was always like 5 minutes, 9 minutes, 15 minutes. And so we're like, and they're like, what's happening, Elizabeth? We're kind of scared. Like, what's going on? And so I told them, I said, the vortex energy changes times, right? So time completely slowed down the entire night. It felt like I was there for a month, not just a night. It was so wild. Then the craziest thing, this is the last thing that we're going to close it off. The craziest thing, right, was that oh yeah. So the next morning, like a lot of other weird things happened that night, like really weird things, but I don't have enough time to say all of the things. Anyway, so the next morning I'm like off, like da da da, driving over to my friend's house, and I get a phone call from my friend Charlotte, and so I pick it up. I'm like, this is weird. I just left her house. Like, what is she calling me about? She calls me up. She's like, oh my God, dude, the weirdest thing. And I'm like, another weird thing? Like, what happened? And she tells me, she's like, so I get into my car and the digital clock on my car, and it's like a new car, right? The digital clock on my car is 40 minutes behind time. And so she parks her car right close to the house, like right beside the house, basically right beside the vortex. And she says, dude, you must have activated the vortex last night, because she's like, my digital clock on my car has never changed time. I mean, when have you guys ever experienced your clock on your car changing time randomly? It just never happens. And if it was like an hour or 60 minutes, you would think that maybe it was like some sort of time difference or time change or whatever. No, it was 40 minutes behind its usual time after the weird vortex energy. Like, the vortex energy was so all consuming that night that it literally changed the digital clock on her car. Like, it was just such validation. It was so wild, so mind blowing. I'm telling you guys, it's been like nonstop every single day, every moment that I've been here. I have had such crazy, insane, beautiful realizations. And I hope that all of you are a little bit more aware of your day to day. You're a little bit more aware of the information that comes to you. You breaking a glass, stubbing your toe, hitting your knee, getting into a car accident. These are all divine moments of release, closure, and karmic completion. Okay. The more that you react, the more that you attach, the more that you blame, the more that you project, the more that you play the victim. Okay. The more you are creating more karma. Do you want to come back here? I don't think so. I don't want to come back here, right? Okay, good. So once again, I've got a group session, 10 people this Sunday, answering either just a straight channel from your guides, whatever you need to know, I will mention it, or 2 questions. Okay, so it's about an hour and a half happening this Sunday at 3 p.m. PST or 6 p.m. EST. And it's 10 people for an hour and a half, super intensive. $55. You can't go wrong. These book up so quickly, but I am going to have a weekly group channeled session every Sunday. Okay, so every Sunday this month, I'm going to have a group channel session, and I'm going to be releasing them 1 week at a time. So please check out the link below, go to my website, sign up now, because I will be closing the doors after 10 people. It's just too much energy and it takes too long if it's more than 10 people. Okay, so if you do want me to channel, this is the only way you get direct information from me, from your guides. And I'm telling you guys, I've had such an incredible vacation, and I've been so clear, such a clear channel, that watch out for the information this Sunday. It's going to be freaking mind blowing. Okay. And then Mexico. Okay. I've got a woman who dropped out of the Mexico retreat. She just can't make it. So please, if you are interested in the Mexico retreat, this is your time. There is going to be a discount applied as well. So please email me if you're a woman and you're open for an incredibly mind-blowing experience in September. It's just going to be insane. And then, of course, the membership page, check it out. Live video 5:55 every Thursday. There's a Q&A, live Q&A. If you really want your questions answered, hop on to the live Q&A every Sunday. Every week there's homework, there's an exclusive crystal channeling video, there's just nonstop deep dive content and information every week on the membership page. Only $11 a month. It's basically like I have my own Netflix channel. You just can't go wrong. If you really want to awaken, expand, hop into the fifth dimension, please check out the membership page and the teachers. And other than that, I love you guys so much. Thank you all for participating, joining me. Continue just expanding and loving yourself in every moment. Thank you for all of the compliments on the hair. It was a really big change for me, and it was really freaking scary. And also invite your children back to the live videos, because I am going to be really mature and no longer swear at all anymore, or try to, because I just want to be more applicable to more people and a little bit more mainstream, but also a little bit edgier. So keep up the good work. I love you guys so much. Thank you all so much on YouTube, especially Sharma and a Trip, for your beautiful super chats. Super appreciate it. Have a really great night. Same thing with you, Facebook. Have a beautiful night. Thank you all so much for joining me. I will be back next Monday at 5:55. Bye. Bye, YouTube.